Muslims all around the world know about the Dajjal. No matter whom you ask, they know what the Dajjal is and what its implications are. Even the least informed Muslims out there know something about the Dajjal. The Dajjal is not only a big scare story, an airy prophecy. Enemies of Islam, spreaders of corruption within Islam or outside of Islam, are also frequently accused of being a Dajjal or the Dajjal. So what is this strange name that people are so crazy about? According to Muhammad, the Dajjal is a person who will emerge before the last hour, the day of judgment in the end times. The Dajjal is expected to be a supervillain, the ultimate enemy of Islam, who will mobilize people around the world, deceiving the masses into following him and worshipping him, and eventually he will fight the Muslims. This is in a way very similar to the Christian antichrist. In fact, the name Dajjal is short for the actual title of this guy, which is Al-Masih al-Dajjal, which translates to the deceiving Messiah or the false Messiah. It is almost certainly from Christianity. The Dajjal is not mentioned in the Quran, but he is mentioned many times in the Hadith. Muhammad reportedly said that the Dajjal will emerge from a land in the east, according to some Hadiths specifically from Khorasan, which is today a part of Iran, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. He will have many followers, but most importantly, he will have a lot of Jewish followers. Surprise, surprise. How could we possibly get through an Islamic scare story without having Jews as villains? A hadith says that the Dajjal will be followed by 70,000 Jews of Isfahan, Persian Jews, wearing Persian shawls. Awfully specific, very odd. Today there are only a few 100,000 Persian Jews, of whom only about 8,000 live in Iran, according to the Jewish Virtual Library. According to the reported prophecies, the Dajjal will claim to be the Messiah. He will claim to have divine powers. He will perform I guess I'm hungry. He will perform tricks, miracles, including killing someone by cutting him into two and bringing him back to life. The Dajjal will also have a bad appearance. He will have kafir, disbeliever, written between his eyes or eyebrows. And I guess only true believers will somehow see that it says kafir right here. According to many hadiths of Muhammad, he's also one-eyed, or one eye is like a bulging grape. That's why in certain depictions, like this one for example, he's depicted as a mysterious villain with one functioning eye and kafir between his eyes, or eyebrows. Here is another one, again, a little bit creepy. And here is another one made by some Muslims which looks very familiar. When the Dajjal is already strong and established, there will be one person who will come down to stop the Dajjal, Jesus, or the Islamic Isa. The Islamic Jesus will descend from the sky. He will break the cross and kill the pig. He will be a very bloody jihadi Jesus, and then it will not be long until the day of judgment. Now, having gone through this, there are many problems with this entire narrative about the Dajjal. There are some hadiths in which Muhammad describes the events of the appearance of the Dajjal, and what he describes is that at that time, the Muslims will be fighting the Romans in Syria. A third of the Muslims will flee from the battlefield, another third will die, and the remaining third will be victorious. They will march and they will conquer Constantinople. And then, while the Muslims would be celebrating their victory, the Dajjal would appear. The Romans, or the Eastern Roman Byzantines, were indeed in Muhammad's time the powerful neighbors, and they were controlling Constantinople, the desired city. Over the next centuries, the Muslims had wars with them and expanded further into Roman Byzantine territory. And eventually the Muslim Ottomans conquered Constantinople in 1453, and as you can see, neither the Dajjal appeared nor did the world end. But wait, there is more. Muhammad suspected 1,400 years ago that the Dajjal was already present. There was a guy named Ibn Sayyad. Muhammad encountered this guy, Ibn Sayyad, when Ibn Sayyad was only a child about to have his puberty. Apparently he was playing with some other children when Muhammad came by, and this kid did not show Muhammad any respect and didn't get out of the way. Upon which Muhammad became angry and said to the kid, "Do you not testify that I am Allah's messenger?" And this kid, Ibn Sayyad, then said, "I testify that you are the messenger of the illiterates." The kid then said, "Do you testify that I am Allah's messenger?" And Muhammad denied that and said, "I only believe in Allah and his messengers." Muhammad was mad. Apparently, Muhammad then held something in his hand and asked the kid what it is, and the kid, Ibn Sayyad, then said it is smoke. These Muslim narratives really need to be a little bit clearer. What the hell is this? Muhammad then said to the kid, "Shame on you, you will not get very far." Then Muhammad's companion and later second Caliph Omar said to Muhammad, "Messenger of Allah, let me cut off his head." A child about to hit puberty. Muhammad, however, did not allow it, saying that if this guy is indeed the Dajjal, then he will not be able to overpower him, and if he's not the Dajjal, then he will have killed some random guy. Later, however, Muhammad apparently came to spy on this kid and hid in a garden. But then Ibn Sayyad's mother caught Muhammad and said, "Muhammad is here." Muhammad then left and told his followers that the Dajjal is one-eyed, which implies that Ibn Sayyad probably also was one-eyed. So Muhammad clearly thought that this kid was the Dajjal. He obsessed over him. And Omar even wanted to kill the kid. And all that just because this kid didn't get out of the way for Muhammad. All of this is entirely authentic by Islamic standards. Ibn Sayyad actually grew up and joined Islam later on, when everybody joined Islam because Islam became victorious. But Ibn Sayyad could never free himself from this label, this burden, placed on him by a paranoid Muhammad. People looked at him all his life as the possible Dajjal. They feared him. According to a hadith, Ibn Sayyad said in one instance that he is sick and tired of how people look at him when he's clearly not the Dajjal, and he said that he wants to hang himself to a tree and commit suicide because he can't take it anymore. Poor guy. And all that just because of Muhammad's paranoia and suspicion that this guy is the ultimate supervillain, the Dajjal. And Muhammad is supposed to be Allah's perfect messenger, inspired and guided by Allah, bearer of the absolute truth. Doesn't really look like it. Muslims have been waiting for this Dajjal to appear for 1,400 years. I grew up in a family where it was passionately believed that the Dajjal could emerge anytime soon. We must prepare against him and against the Jews. People should really wake up and realize that this is a great delusion, that Muhammad's prophecies are nonsense. Instead, many Muslims today speculate about how the Dajjal might actually be something else. A narrative that was around when I was growing up was that America is the Dajjal, or Israel is the Dajjal. I'm pretty sure those are still going around. Or the media is the Dajjal, or later on the internet became the Dajjal. I bet there are people today claiming that TikTok is the Dajjal. But the sources are very clear. The Dajjal was supposed to be a person. It's nonsense. That's all there is to it.